What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the VSO Gun Channel. Thanks for joining us here today. It is excellent to have you here as always, and thank you for watching. So I don't always do a video on everything that is newsworthy in the firearms world, simply because I'm not a news channel. I'm not really set up to do that. There are other guys out there that are, and they do a much better job of it than I do. So definitely check those people out that are news-centric. But I will say that I do have very strong principles and opinions on things that are related to firearms. And I did a video a couple weeks ago. It was more of a motivation, demotivation type video. People, we are getting our butts kicked. And we have been for a long time. I don't know where you've been, but for decades, we have been getting slaughtered on our issues. I left a lot of stuff out in that video because I cut it for time. And I thought I could expand on it right now to do a little bit more of a firearms advocacy type video. So here it goes. First off, we got to win. So if you haven't been paying attention, ATF recently was trying to make some moves on pistol braces, and everybody got involved, and we said, nay, no, that's not acceptable. Lots of comments, lots of people involved, and we won. We got them to withdraw their proposal from the Federal Register. Good job, everybody. Pat yourself on the back. 2 thumbs up. Now, what I do want to highlight, though, is that there were an inordinate amount of people. I mean, it was disgusting to see. They were saying things along the lines of, oh, well, they won't listen to us. Like, that's just a waste of time. Why would I take the time to say something to those guys? Then they'll have all my information. They'll know where I live, and that's where they'll come to look. Shut up. I mean, seriously. Damn it, man. How lazy are you that you can't take a couple seconds to open a new tab, stop scrolling on TikTok, put the sports ball game on pause for a minute so that you can actually do something to further the future of this country. Please, just shut up, because there are really 2 people that fall into that category. Either the exceptionally lazy that don't have the time in their mind, they'd rather go do some extraneous other activity than actually invest in the future, or the people that are so entitled that they're like that child in the toy store that isn't getting the toy that they want when they want it. Even though they haven't done any work to earn it, they think that they are entitled to and they can just kick and scream and say all kinds of things and they'll just get what they want. Well, guys, I'm sorry, that's just not the way that it works, okay? That is not the way America was built. Now, we did have a victory. It is time to pat ourselves on the back. However, at the same time, we do have to make sure that we are getting back to business and we are paying attention. The biggest danger is immediately following a victory like this, a lot of people will go back to their day-to-day. They'll stop paying attention. A lot of the time, when you see something like this happen at the federal level, there's usually some kind of sleight of hand going on. So everybody needs to be paying attention. And to further that point, I did see a very elegantly done article by my friends over at the International Sportsman dealing in what we can expect this to look like going forward in the future, and then also what this sort of thing might mean. I'll have that linked in the description box down below for you guys to read at your leisure. Now, that said, we do have to take stop for our sponsorship slot. Got to pay the bills around here some way, guys. You know how it works. And that is the Big D Bag. Yes, indeed. Is the most recent iteration of that monthly subscription box that's full of a whole bunch of goodies. If you're one of those kinds of people that likes to have a surprise in the mail every month, and this guy is one of those things that you should be looking into. It deals in the hunting, fishing, survival, tactical camping, and tools genre. So if you're into that sort of stuff, then the Big D Bag is something that you should be checking out. And to be completely honest, the reason I'm doing this video is because I get to say Big D Bag on the internet a whole bunch of times, and who doesn't want to do that? But in all seriousness, if you use my code, then you get a special box And this particular month, we had an extra little survival kit that came along with it. So special thanks to the Big D-Bag. This product's perfect for this channel, for sponsoring today's video. Check them out. Thank you guys for sitting through that. Of course, if you guys want to help out, in addition to checking out sponsors like the Big D-Bag, then you can also go over to our Patreon and Subscribestar pages to donate directly, and those funds go directly into the day-to-day maintenance of the channel here at the VSO Gun Channel. Now, to the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about here today, and that is the overall mentality that I think is really starting to degrade our chances of continuous victory, is that we think that there's a fight coming, but we don't realize that we've been fighting it all along. Many people, for the last 4 years especially, have gone to sleep. They thought, hey, our guy got in, he's going to go in, everything's going to be okay, and we don't have to worry about anything. Guys and gals, it does not work that way. You need to look no further than most of the standing gun control that you live with on a day-to-day basis was signed into law under Republican presidents. They're not on your side. So if you aren't paying attention and you aren't telling them that you are displeased, they have to juggle a whole bunch of issues on a day-to-day basis. And it may not be your issue. If you are a firearms advocate, regardless of your political spectrum, you have to be politically involved. You cannot take time off to say, oh no, they got it. They're going to try again. They're going to continue. If you're under any illusion that this is the end of the fight, you don't know how any of this works. So what I'm really getting at is that America was never meant to be kept by the complacent. Americans were given a country where they could make what they wanted of it. And if you choose to feel entitled to your rights and be unwilling to fight for them, whatever they are, whether it's the right to assemble, right to keep and bear arms, right to religion, etc., 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 right to free speech, you can't just say, it's not my job, because it is your job. You just tell people to go do it for you, but you have to be making sure that you are being a good manager. You have to make sure that you are doing your part to make them do their damn job. So because of the way my life runs, both for work and play, I spend a lot of time in my vehicle, and instead of listening to music or something like that, a lot of times I'll consume an audiobook. And because of that technology, I've had the opportunity to consume, I know that some people get really freaked out about that, to go through a lot of works that I would just simply not have had the time to sit down and physically read. And it's great. But one of the titles that are, or series, I suppose, that I'm going through right now has a lot of allegory to our current situation. And it kind of goes like this. You basically have the human race that is in a constant state of war, both amongst themselves, different factions fighting amongst themselves for their individual kingdom needs. And then you have an existential threat that is a consistent state of war that comes cyclically. And basically, we're talking about a level of desolation. It is literally called that. That technology is lost every single time the cycle repeats. And the problem with this situation is that humans, ourselves, we are mortal, and we have a finite existence. The enemy that they fight, however, is immortal. It can be beat back consistently. But in order for them to eke out the existence for their generation, or multiple generations at a time, they have to fight for the ground that they keep. They have to beat back the evil that comes ever so often around to destroy them. America was never built for sustained peace. It was built on conflict. It was never designed to sit there idle. It was always designed to work in a fluid motion. They gave us some hardcore principles that we were supposed to live by. The rule book, if you will, to keep this thing operating. But What we did with it was up to us. And this is maybe going to piss some people off, okay? Maybe you're new here, maybe you're not. I'm not trying to push anybody away, but you basically have pro-freedom people and progressivism, okay? I'm not saying that you can't be a leftist and like guns. I'm not saying that that's impossible. However, I've been doing this for 20 years, okay? And basically the sides have lined up. Progressives want to destroy certain rights that they don't agree with, that they think can advance society, that we have tried throughout human existence to put in. They're trying to repeat that cycle, and it just doesn't work. The reason America is what it is the way it was founded, the way it was built. And one of those core principles is that everybody has a right to self-defense and to keep and bear arms. To accomplish that, up to and including the ownership, and the Supreme Court has stood by this, of weaponry that is current issue in militaries across the world. That is the American birthright. Back to what I was saying, there will be times where we win a battle. There will be times when they win a battle. But it is up to us to understand that the war, the greater conflict for America, will never end until America ends. That is the state of being. You cannot just say our guy's in office, or we hold this house or that house, or we have the Supreme. It doesn't work that way. It was never designed to work that way. And for some reason, we have fallen into this whole thing where we think that we can be safe. Security was never the goal. It's always a balancing act between freedom and security. There are going to be some people that want to come in and use the term security or the allure of security to steal freedom from you and your friends and family. It is up to you to fight against that. And you have to look no further than the tactics that we use. Generally speaking, and again, I'm trying not to be icky on this, I consider myself a right of center person, okay? And generally speaking, us more conservative people tend to be kind of lifespan oriented, okay? The things that we can accomplish in our lifetime inside of our family unit type thing. That's kind of, we have our individual worlds that we live in, so to speak. Progressives do not think this way. They are a generational conflict type person, right? So the accomplishments of one benefits the collective good that then pushes the needle or moves the chains. Ew, that felt really gross to use a sports reference. Then advances their ultimate goals that much more. So my people, generally speaking, think in this sort of closed, smaller picture universe type thing. What affects us more immediately, as in like on the lifespan of maybe like 10 to 50 years type thing, like what are the consequences of this here and now? And then the enemy is thinking, well, if we do this little tiny thing now and push the needle ever so slightly, then we can come back and we've now gained that ground. We can push it and push it and push it and push it. And that's exactly what the bump stock ban thing was. And they're using the exact same tactics, or at least they tried to use the exact same tactics with the stabilizing braces. Now, because we were paying attention and we're politically active, we were able to avert this crisis, just like we did with the 855 situation some years ago, where they were trying to go after the most popular ammunition for the AR-15, the most popular type of ammunition in the country, literally. They were trying to go after that. And people said, nay. This time, we said, no dice, man. We're not putting up with this. This is not okay. We all got involved. In order for you to live the way you want to live and have the freedoms that you want to have and be able to pass those on to the next generation, you have to fight. You have to be plugged in, you have to be paying attention. But going forward, knowing that America was designed to operate in a state of continuous conflict, we will win some, and we will lose some. But I'll be damned if I'm going to sit on my hands and be silent while the forces that would enslave us and strip us of our rights march against us. A man who chooses not to lift a pen will never lift a rifle.